Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell's Louisville home was vandalized today with messages expressing frustration over the lack of financial relief for Americans. Graffiti saying, "Where's my money?" was written on his home after his Saturday morning decision to block $2,000 stimulus checks for Americans. Senator McConnell addressed the vandalism in a statement saying that politics of fear have no place in our society and that he and his wife have never been intimidated by this kind of behavior. Meantime, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's home in San Francisco was also targeted by vandals with very similar messaging. On Friday, her garage door was spray painted with messages calling for the $2,000 stimulus checks and for rent to be canceled altogether. A pig's head was also placed on the driveway, along with spilled fake blood. Neighbors say they think the vandalism is counterproductive.
I don't think that this is a useful way to go about it, and it's a terrible start to this new year when we're hoping for less anger and hatred than we've had to deal with for the last year.
Certainly. Well, San Francisco police are now investigating. They say that they don't have any suspects at this time. It's unclear if the two are connected.
Oh, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell and oh, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. I guess COVID has finally hit home, no pun intended. The two of the most powerful people of Congress have been reduced to the scared little children that we all knew they were. It took vandalism of their properties for them to take notice. And this is all over the rejection of a $2,000 stimulus check. Is $2,000 really going to make people rich? I don't think so. Can you guys believe that the Congress adjourned Friday, 10 months into the global pandemic started, and 8 months after the last stimulus check? This is all while the country's people are praying that they don't get evicted from their homes. I'm not going to lie, the Congress acted swiftly in April at the beginning of the pandemic, with the stimulus check out, I think like maybe a month, 2 months into it. But 8 months later, after a loss of income and Congress insisting that people stay home, business furloughs and everything, it almost seems like Congress thinks that they are doing something besides what they were elected to do and what they're being paid to do. Finally, a bipartisan issue. Don't be fooled. Yes, a pig's head was left outside of Pelosi's garage sitting in red paint. Yes, graffiti was left on the garage door that read, "Cancel rent, and we want everything." Yes, Nancy has been a staunch proponent of an increase in the stimulus checks to $2,000. But you know what? Pelosi, a Democrat, and McConnell, Republican, are two sides of the same coin. McConnell said that I spent years fighting for the First Amendment and defending peaceful protests. I appreciate every Kentuckian who is engaged in the democratic process, whether they agree with me or not. This is different. Vandalism and the politics of fear have no place in our society. Pelosi, however, has not given a response yet. Apparently, she was not home at the time. Some people might feel sympathetic for Nancy Pelosi or Mitch McConnell, but I certainly do not. Last I checked, San Francisco is one of the poorest cities in the U.S. The problem of homelessness has increased exponentially. And you know what? Nancy is a career politician. She's been in office since 1987. She is among the wealthiest members of the House with an $120 million net worth. Nancy has served as a U.S. Representative of California since '87, and she's the only woman to serve as Speaker of the House. And until the inauguration of Kamala Harris in January, she has been the highest-ranking female elected official in U.S. history. Also, last I checked, Kentucky has the 6th highest poverty rate in the nation and the 6th lowest median income. And did you know that Mitch McConnell may not be the number one, but he... In fact, according to OpenSecrets.org, a good website, by the way, the majority of the lawmakers in the Congress are millionaires. There's a serious disconnect here. When the majority of the population in the United States are the working poor, there's no way that Congress people who are millionaires can represent them and understand their issues. In spite of all these facts signaling an economy moving towards disaster, Pelosi and McConnell don't seem to appreciate that people's lives are at stake. Forget the 300,000 COVID deaths in the U.S. alone. I'm not quite sure what it is that they need. A couple of facts about COVID. Small business revenue is down 20% since January 2020. New business formations fell off in the spring. Layoffs and shutdowns and not reduced average hours are driving in total hours worked. The number of labor force participants quadrupled from January to April. The number of people not in the labor force who want a job spiked by 4.5 million in April and has remained elevated. In April 2020, the U.S. personal savings rate reached its highest record level. Low-income families with children are most likely to experience income shock. In 26 states, more than 1 in 5 households were behind in rent in July. From 2018 to mid-2020, the rate of food insecurity doubled for households with children. Do I support violence or intimidation? No. But the people have spoken, and hopefully their elected representatives will take heed. In rural America, more than 4 out of 10 households have lost jobs or businesses, been furloughed, or faced reduced wages or hours during the COVID outbreak. U.S. households are struggling to stay afloat during COVID-19 crisis, a crisis that's widening inequalities that already existed in America. Now, the lesson for today is that the much-needed $2,000 stimulus is what America needs right now. $600 just ain't cutting it.